Going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's topic, I want to go over the whole situation of if you're ever in a relationship with someone and you obviously it ends or something, or your value isn't appreciated. I need to remind you guys to not take that as a sign to never treat someone like that ever again, but instead to remind yourself to continue to be like that and continue to love the way that you love, regardless of how the outcome of this last one is. Because it's not fair to the next person that they don't get to have the fullest extent of your love because someone before couldn't appreciate it, or it wasn't someone that actually deserved it. The person that you go to next didn't deserve to be punished for someone that they had no say in, or, you know, that wasn't their fault that someone else broke your heart. So you gotta just remember that and remind yourself that it's okay to keep going and to continue to treat other people with that same level of respect, even though they might also walk over you and they might not appreciate it. But there's no point in punishing someone else for someone else's mistakes. That's not fair to them, especially if you really care about the next person. Life's too short to seclude yourself and lock down or shut down because someone else was not capable of being loved the way that you love. And it's not even just romantic relationships, even in friendships too. Like if you're a super kind and caring friend and you're always there for someone, but those people never give you the time of day, just move on. Just let them go. It's not worth draining all of your energy for someone that won't appreciate you and doesn't value it. They'll see it when it's gone and they'll miss it, but that's all they really can do because they had it and they fucked it up. So let them go. Let them have that sort of regret, and then make sure that you treat the next person exactly the same, if not better, so that they can see what they missed out on and what they had. Doesn't even have to be out of spite. Just do it for yourself. They'll take it spitefully, but so what? I mean, they had it and they didn't give a shit about it, so why does it matter what they think? It's time to take that let them theory into full extent, but it's definitely not fair to shut yourself off and punish someone else for someone else's mistakes. Just be the same person you are. Don't stop being you. It's gonna hurt, obviously. Being someone that really cares about people, you're gonna get burned a lot because there's a lot of takers in the world, not a lot of people that like to give, and it's kind of sad. Givers have to put a limit on how much they give because takers never have limits on how much they can take, and it's really unfortunate to be someone like that who just likes to give or do things out of the kindness of your heart, but you're just getting burnt by people that take advantage of you. That's how we grow, and that's how we create boundaries to not let this stuff happen again, to where we'll know when to walk away and when it's appropriate to call it off. Those are the boundaries and stuff that I had basically not existed in my life. I did not under any circumstance have any sort of limit with that stuff. I do now. I'm definitely not gonna let someone who's unappreciative stay in my life, and I'm also just not appearing in other people's lives as much as I have. I've been too available for people that clearly don't give a shit about me. Too many friends or air quotes friends, and just people in my life that, you know, I go out of my way to talk to and stuff, but they just don't give a shit if I'm there or not, or I don't seem to be any sort of priority to anyone. So no point wasting my fucking time hanging around. I'm just gonna pull away and bounce and be surrounded by people that actually care, because I deserve it. And I'm not even gonna force anything. I'm in a spot where I am insanely lonely right now, but I have to learn to be comfortable like this. So I'm not forcing it, and I'm not forcefully going out of my way to make all these fake relationships with people, whether it's friends or romantic, just to avoid this feeling. I'm well aware that this is something that I've been afraid of my whole life, so I have to learn how to be okay with it. Nobody wants to be alone, but running my life off of the fear of being alone is just not okay, because now I'm letting people take advantage of me just because I'm afraid of them leaving, and I need to just not do that, and instead just learn how to be okay with being by myself. And it's becoming a lot easier. I am definitely not struggling as much as I was a couple months ago. Still sucks. I mean, nobody wants to be alone. We're all a communal species, so we thrive off of community and being with other people, but other people are shitty. So gotta learn to have more respect for ourselves than for other people, because I'm not gonna let ungrateful ass people in my life anymore. I am a wonderful person to have around, and if they just want to fuck around and treat me like shit, then so be it. I'll find better people in my life. I'm not gonna waste my time or my energy on people that don't care, and I'm not gonna let someone who really fucked with me ruin my perception of love and stuff and change how I treat other people. I'm not gonna let them get that satisfaction that they were the last person to ever have that kind of care from me. It's a privilege to have me in your life, so if you don't see it, peace. Won't be missed. I'll find better. I just gotta stand on business when it comes to this kind of stuff. I need to make sure that even if I am at my lowest, I still don't make the mistake of letting people that don't deserve to be in my life show up again. I gotta stand on my decisions. If these people are this bad and I don't want them in my life, gotta stand on it. Unless they make some sort of drastic change to where it's noticeable and they are not who they once were, then maybe I'll consider it. But that's so fucking rare because, yeah, like who actually self-reflects in today's fucking day and age? Everyone's so high on themselves that they think that they can't do no wrong, and it's everything's for a reason kind of bullshit. So even if they are terrible individuals or mistreat others, it's for a reason, which I'm not gonna tolerate that kind of stuff. If you're gonna treat me like shit, get away from me. Like, you don't even have to necessarily do bad things. Like, if you're just ungrateful and a siphon of my emotional mental state and stuff like that, and please leave me alone, respectfully. I don't need to have someone that's doing that kind of shit to me. I don't want to be drained from people that are supposed to be a benefit or a positive in my life. Too many people get too comfortable with you sometimes. That's kind of a crazy thing. People get really comfortable with you being a good person to where they take advantage. Really sad. And that's where you gotta kind of put your foot down and not let this shit slide anymore. It really is sad that the good people in the world are the ones that get taken advantage of, and it creates less of them. Because some people just they're so tired they just don't want to do it anymore, and I don't blame you. It's entirely understandable. I'm just not going to be those people that let someone stop me from treating someone that actually deserves it better, because I would be upset if I was never able to be loved by someone fully because someone else ruined their perception of it. It's not fair to me, and that wouldn't feel good if I was just not having the true honest version of someone because they were stuck on how someone else that I wasn't even aware of, you know? Because think about how that would make you feel if the next person that you started a relationship with, whether it's a friend or a romantic, if you are in their life now, never seen them, never heard of them before, you know, you just randomly decide to do something one day and you guys meet up and then you get into this deep relationship with them, but you can never be treated like with respect, or they can't treat you the way that they want to because they're mad that someone else took advantage or didn't appreciate what they had. That wouldn't make you feel good because you would be like, well, I didn't know that, I didn't deserve that. Why am I not being treated with love because someone else ruined it? That would actually piss me off, and I'd probably not want to engage in that relationship. I would want to bounce because I wouldn't want to deserve half-assed emotional availability. Obviously some things are different, every situation is nuanced, but for the most part it all still applies. One bad apple doesn't poison the tree, so just remember that. There's always going to be someone that's better and more deserving of you and stuff, so don't stop showing it because the right person will appear. You'll weed out the bad ones by, you know, staying true to who you are and not changing for anyone. You'll realize quickly how many bad people are going to be phased out of your life by just staying true to who you are. As long as you can recognize when things are no longer serving you, like soon and quickly and stuff, then you'll be golden in life. That's kind of the hard part though, is realizing or actually doing the recognizing when it no longer serves you. Sometimes it can be really difficult, and I understand that completely. I kept myself in a situation that didn't serve me for far longer than I needed to. I stayed because I was high on the hopium and, you know, focused more on the potential of someone rather than what they actually were. That's another trap to get out of, is don't fall in love with people's potential. Just be able to take a step back and actually see what they actually are presenting themselves, because everyone has potential, but whether or not they want to actually take the steps to unlock that full potential is entirely dependent on who they are as a person. And when you get stuck on someone's potential, it makes it very hard to leave. because you're sitting there thinking like, well, if I stay for a little bit, I know that they're capable of all this, so maybe it'll get better, when they're just proving every single day that they're not gonna take the effort and not gonna do what needs to be done to actually unlock that potential, and you're just gonna kill yourself slowly. I hope that doesn't trigger the demonetization. You'll slowly be draining yourself to the point where you just break, and that's what a lot of anxious people do. They're the heavy people pleasers that will do anything to make someone else happy, to the point where they'll do it as long as they need to until it fully gets to their breaking point, and that's when they call it, which is unfortunate because that breaking point is usually pretty bad for anxious people. They can hold off for a very long time because they know what it's like to, you know, be hurt and stuff when like their whole potential or something isn't recognized. But at the same time, you got to be able to break it off sooner, because it'll just hurt you in the long run if you hold on for so long until the breaking point. Because then the sad thing is that a lot of the time, that's what every situation makes you look like the villain, because you either lash out or you get driven to the point where you finally snap, and that's what people will use against you, that you're just not a good person because you finally snapped. And you don't want that. You want to just move on before you get to that point, because it's not worth being looked at like someone who's insane because you held out longer than you should have. A lot of things are easier said than done. It's not an easy task to be able to just let go of someone. It took me months of disrespect to do it, and I let it happen, and it was dumb. I should have just left so long ago. I should have given up and quit a long time ago when I knew that, when I knew the reality of the situation, but I was still a hopeless romantic and holding on to things that just weren't true. That's when I fucked up. That's when I realized that I had a problem, and it was something internally that was really the problem. It wasn't that the person was so special. It was more of that just I had that deep fear of not wanting to be alone that was holding me and keeping me trapped. And it was me holding on to that because that's what I wanted them to do. I wanted them to treat me and respect me even outside of the relationship like I did to them, and that's just not at all what was happening. So I just basically hurt myself more than I needed to. I should have stood my ground and not let that person come back into my life, because it hurt me 10 times more the second time than it did the first, because you get that little glimmer of hope that things could be okay, and that just was immediately turned to dust, and it felt like I was led on and manipulated, and it sucks. But I'm more self-aware now to where I'm not going to let that shit happen again, and that's why I'm going to make sure, if any of you guys have any situations that you want a second opinion on, let me know, drop them in the comments or something, and I'll give you my peace of mind on it. See if you guys have any questions or something that I can maybe give an unbiased reality point of view on it. Because I got that advice. Obviously, the way we work as human beings is we're gonna get a bunch of advice and we're not gonna take it. We're just gonna sit there and listen to it and be like, yep, that's exactly what I need to do, and then we're gonna go back and do exactly what we want to do until we learn the hard way. Because that's really the easiest way to learn in life, is through experience. So I didn't want to believe anyone when they were telling me the exact shit that was exactly true and what it needed to be, but I didn't listen because I was like, nope, that's not what I want, and that's not what I want to believe. I had a lot of delusion. Had I just taken the advice from the get-go, it would have saved me a lot of heartache and mental drain. But now that I have this experience and I've gone through it, and now I've seen it firsthand, I know what to do next time. And I know what not to do for sure. So that's good that I have that experience now, and I now have the knowledge and wisdom to do much better the next time, because I will not be giving up on my hopeless romantic type stuff, but I'm also not going to be a pushover anymore. I'm going to recognize sooner than later when I'm not being valued, because I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know that I wasn't being valued until it happened, which is kind of sad. Had I actually just taken a step back and not been blinded or wearing the rose-tinted glasses, I could have saved myself a long time ago. It's really unfortunate. There were a lot of signs that I should have taken and I should have acted on way sooner. Things I didn't really notice until I took a step back or I was taken out of the relationship to really look at it from a different point of view. Nothing I can do about it now, though, other than to do better next time. And that's all I'm gonna do. Ball up top. It's basically all my whole mindset now is we'll run it back. I'm getting that rematch. I may have lost 4-5 in overtime, but I'm gonna get that rematch and win 4-0. Not gonna change who I am as a person because someone else did me wrong. I'm just not gonna let that happen again. That's the only difference, is I'm not gonna take that level of disrespect anymore. I'm not even going to be focusing on it. I'm entirely locked in on myself, my job, my YouTube channel, and that's it. I'm not even paying attention to friends or anything. I'm just doing my own thing because right now I got to be the best version of myself that I can be so that I fully unlock my worth and my potential, so I know what exactly I'm giving to someone and I know when it's no longer going to be serving me sooner. I already know my worth more than I did before, but I need to also just, I don't know, like I know my worth, but I don't, I guess. I'm still finding out that there's more that I'm worth than I did before, or that I knew before. I suppose it's not that I'm finding more worth, it's that I'm creating more worth. I was worth a lot and I had a lot to give, but now I'm going to be creating more so that I'm even more of a catch and someone that is deserving of the way I treat people, because I still haven't been given the amount of attention and stuff that I deserve, and now I'm going to make sure that I get that because I deserve it. So I'm gonna do what I can to make sure I get it. I deserve it, so I'm gonna get it. I've already improved so much as an individual than I have been like over the last few years. I'm definitely a shell of who I was, but in a positive way. I've been opened up to new ways of thinking, new mindsets, new beliefs, and that's really cool to see the progress of that. And I'm going to continue doing that. I'm going to continue leveling up my game and improving who I am as a person for whoever decides to show up, that I am the best version of myself that I can be for that person. And that's kind of how I'm going to be continuing on for these next few days, weeks, months. I don't know how long it's going to be. It's going to be quite the journey. If I would have told myself how the year was going to end to like my June self, I would have thrown a fit. I would have thought it was not possible, that there was no way that things could turn out the way that they did. This is like by far the least I've expected this to turn out. It's been such a drastic change over such a small period of time. It's kind of nuts, but that's how life is. Life can hit you when you least expect it. All you got to do is bounce back, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing everything I can to just bounce back from where I was, and I'm going to be happy in the future when I look back on where I was versus where I'm at, because already now the version of me that was existing in December through February was fucking miserable, and I hated that I even got to that point. That was the saddest version of me that I've seen in a while. It was super pathetic, but I just hadn't gone through something like this in a long time, so I didn't really know how to handle it. But I did it the best I could. Could have done things a lot better. That's obviously a known fact, but that's what I'm gonna do next. I know how to do it better next time, and that's all I'm gonna do. Can't go back. Things turned out the way they did for a reason. Now I feel as if it's my mission to document these things and share my experiences so that you guys going through it or potentially going through it have something to look on and take inspo from. I'm enjoying this kind of stuff a lot more, and it's helping me out mentally. So I'm just going to keep on doing it because this is what's best for me, and I think it's going pretty well, considerably. And well, not considerably, but considering what I was like, I'm basically completely restarting, so anything more than 0 is a nice change. But I'll be taking recommendations, or not recommendations, but submissions, I guess. If there's anything that you guys want my opinion on or want me to talk about, leave them in the comments below, and I'll do what I can to give the best information or advice that I got. Whether it's meaningful or not, I don't know. I'll just be doing the best I can. That's all that really matters. But on that note, I think that's going to be it for me. Not sure there's really anything else that I wanted to say for this, but thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.